my name is John, and I'm just here to discuss movies and TV on the YT. And if you'd like to join that discussion, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well. And today, I just felt like sharing my top 5 most anticipated Disney Plus shows that are not Marvel or MCU, because I recently just did a video about those specific Disney Plus shows. But today I felt like sharing my top 5 non-Marvel ones. And so let's get started. So starting with a few honorable mentions, we've got True Lies, which I believe is still a series in development. And it's based off of a great 90s Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie. I believe that's what it's based off of since it has the same name. But I'm really intrigued to see how they go about this, as well as we got a National Treasure series, which I'm a big fan of the Nicolas Cage National Treasure movies. I have a ton of nostalgia for them. I still love re-watching them. And so I'm intrigued to see what that is. And then also we've got Lando, which I don't know, for some reason I was a little confused by this announcement. I love the idea of a Childish Gambino starred Lando Calrissian show, but they described it as like an event series, and for some reason I was a little confused by what the show, like, story or whatever is supposed to be, and it just kind of lowered my excitement a little bit from just barely not making my top 5, but I'm still looking forward to seeing what it is. And then another one I'm going to throw in is not a Disney Plus show, but it was announced on Disney Investor Day, and it's a show that really intrigues me. That being, I believe it's going to be on FX, and that is Shogun. I love samurai movies and samurai stories, so this is just something that really intrigues me, because there was a samurai, I believe this was a TV show or mini-series from the 80s, and so I'm kind of intrigued to see what they do with it. So kicking off my top 5, I have Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now this is one that I'm very much looking forward to seeing. I love Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi portrayal. But also at the same time, Star Wars is not necessarily what I consider one of my favorite franchises. I consider it an honorable mention favorite franchise. So it's not necessarily in like my top all-time favorites, but I still really enjoy the franchise. And I have a ton of nostalgia for 1 and 3 within the prequel trilogy. And a big reason for that is Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi portrayal. And then we're also getting Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader, which I'm a little mixed on, but I'm excited to see what it brings. And then coming in at number 4 is probably going to be kind of shocking for people, but especially since this is early on in my YouTube career, but that is Zootopia Plus. I am a major fan of Zootopia. It's one of my all-time favorite animated movies. It's within my top 5 all-time favorites for animated movies, and I love Judy Hopps. I love Nick Wilde. I've always wanted to see a possible continuation of their story, and I've always wanted to kind of revisit the world of Zootopia, and I just love the idea of doing that. Even though I'm probably not the target audience for this show, I'm really looking forward to seeing what it has to offer, just because I love that animated movie so much, especially that DMV scene with the sloths. I think might be the funniest scene in cinematic history. I'm sorry. I always get a kick out of that scene. And coming in at number 3, kicking off the top 3, I have Ahsoka, a Disney Plus Star Wars show based off of Ahsoka Tano. And I have seen the first few seasons of the Clone Wars. I watched it when it originally released. I haven't seen the later seasons. And I'm just now, as of recording this, I haven't caught up on Mando Season 2, but I'm just getting to the episode that introduces Ahsoka Tano, and so I'm very much looking forward to that. But she's one of my favorite characters, even though I haven't finished Clone Wars or seen Rebels. She's still one of my favorite characters because I loved her in those first few seasons of Clone Wars that I did watch. And even I had a Nintendo DS game that I used to play, a Clone Wars Nintendo DS game that I loved playing all the time, and she was probably my go-to character to play as on that game. And coming in at number 2 is the show I'm very excited to see because there's a movie that I'm a defender of. A lot of people don't like it, but I really love it, mostly because of nostalgia purposes. But it's also based off of a series of books where I think I've actually read the first 3, I believe, and that is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I really just love I was introduced to it through the movie, not the books, but I just love the lore and the idea of putting Greek mythology in like the modern times and stuff. And I'm really excited to see what Disney Plus does. I look at things like The Mandalorian and the Marvel shows. I don't know if this is going to get that same production level. I kind of doubt it will, but just in case it does, I'm very much excited to see what that production level could possibly bring to Percy Jackson and the Olympians, because it's probably my favorite YA series, novel series, even though I haven't read all of them. I'm not a big novel reader, but coming in at number 1, my most anticipated Disney Plus show that is not The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is Andor, Disney Plus show based off of the Star Wars character Cassian Andor. And I am a massive fan of Rogue One, and I love Cassian Andor. And even putting that aside, the description, I believe, is like a political thriller, spy-esque espionage thriller type of Star Wars movie. And there's just something about that just gets me really amped and excited for this show. Plus the fact that it's kind of like a prequel spin-off of one of my favorite Star Wars movies, of one of my favorite characters, and I don't know, it's just a show that just really gets my excitement level to skyrocket, and I can't wait for the series Andor, and that is why it comes in at number 1 and is my most anticipated Disney Plus show that is not The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So thanks for watching this video. Go ahead and share the shows you're most anticipated and most excited to see in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed my top 5, go ahead and smash that thumbs up icon and smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well. I recently posted a ranking of the Marvel MCU Disney Plus shows based off of my excitement and anticipation level. So go ahead and check that out as well. And I will return next time when I see you again.